My video is all about recovery from addiction to either substance or behaviour, and it's proving to be a bit of a challenge with my computer still. Sadly it went wrong due to me. I have to say, it was me who did it, and I set it up to do a backup from a hard drive, and now it's bunged up completely. Anyway, that's enough of that. We learn something new every day in recovery. So if you've tuned in before, you know my videos all about recovery from addiction to substance or behaviour. The substance I became addicted to, alcohol, is a drug as far as I'm concerned, and whether I'm a drug addict or an alcoholic addict, it doesn't matter to me. I just know where I am today. And the gift is, once we understand what is going on with regard to addiction to substance or behaviour and admit it, that's the first step. And then accept it, well, I guess that's a daily reprieve, a daily task, a daily ask, a little bit of experience on a daily basis that recovery is one day long. And if we try and make it longer, or make it longer, impose our will on our own lives, then we suddenly find that we're back into self-will. And the problem from an addictive point of view is, if self-will goes on, self-will will run a riot. So I try not to do that these days, and what helps me is family, community, society, professional people who got me on the track of understanding what was my malady, and then a fellowship which seems to help me on a daily basis, and that fellowship is Alcoholics Anonymous, full of unique, authentic people, and I don't speak for them, never will, would never presume to, but I can share how fellowship helps me in my outlook on a daily basis. So I go to meetings because they help me understand by listening to experience, strength and hope and wisdom from other people. And it reinforces an attitude of behaviour and an attitude of not drinking. Did I get that right? Yeah, attitude and behaviour. I have to know what my attitude is on a daily basis to stick with recovery and behave accordingly, which is to not avoid drinking or not try and stop drinking, but just let it all go. And one of the sayings I heard recently is, to let go is to succeed. And that was said several thousand years ago by Lao Tzu, I think it was. Forgive my pronunciation. But anyway, AA is the backbone of my recovery. AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, is a place to learn how to keep sober always, just for one day. And if I do that, then I'm on to a winner. So there is a statement at the beginning of every meeting which goes like this, and it gives the game away, and it also means that we find our own unique, authentic path in recovery. We have this one similarity, and we forget about the differences because they're harmless and not of any use to us. So the similarity is a desire to stop drinking, and it says it in this preamble. AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is the desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution. It does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. So it's very clear on the parameters or the boundaries. It's all about recovery, and you know, we need them to get on with the rest of our lives. So diversity is what kept me going back in the beginning, and I remember some years ago somebody saying the reason why I kept coming back was it was better than the soaps on the TV. It was better than Coronation Street, EastEnders, and I guess Days of Our Lives, and I guess Neighbours, and I guess Home and Away. What did I know? Well, I do know I used to watch those programmes years ago. I don't watch them anymore. I haven't got time. So in this little preamble where it says there are no dues or fees for AA membership, you don't need to put any money in the pot. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. We always seem to get by, and we don't want any extra really, because it just gets in the way. It becomes a control thing again. So we prefer to utilise the funds, pay the rent, pay for the books, pay for some literature, pay for an AA helpline, and people then man it voluntarily. AA is not allied with any sect, so true. You can still belong to your sect or your cult or your dogma, or just your basic belief of where you are today. It's not allied with any denomination, politics, organisation or institution. Yeah, it doesn't matter where you're coming from, you can still come to AA and find out what it's all about, and take some wisdom home with you, hopefully. So it does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. So all those things are really important, because we're only there for one primary purpose, and that will do, thank you. So it's all good. And whether you're a high-flying multimillionaire or a low-flying multimillionaire or a multimillionaire with an airline, it doesn't matter. I don't think that's true either, so don't make any connotations from that. But the point is this: we just get to learn how to be sober one day at a time. And on here I use this book, Daily Reflections, which talks about the 12 steps of AA, 12 steps of action for an individual, being open, honest and willing to change our attitude and behaviour. And August is all about step 8, which is making a list of those people we have harmed and being willing to make the amends. It doesn't mean you do the amends as you go. It means you make a list of people you think or feel deserve some amends. And it's about judgments, really. Will it harm another person to share how sorry we are, or share our part in what went on? And it's something which needs discussion with a like-sized person to challenge where we are with those sorts of things. But it's about sweeping the street clean, or our side of the street clean, and seeing how we get on. So on August 13th, the Queen, here we go, it says a clean sweep. I'll just share this. Okay, August 13th. And third, having thus cleaned away the debris of the past, we consider how, with our newfound knowledge of ourselves, we may develop the best possible relations with every human being we know. As I faced the 8th step, everything that was required for successful completion of the previous 7 steps came together: courage, honesty, sincerity, willingness and thoroughness. I could not muster the strength required for this task at the beginning, which is why this step reads, became willing. I needed to develop the courage to begin, the honesty to see where I was wrong, a sincere desire to set things right, thoroughness in making a list, and willingness to take the risks required for true humility. With the step of my higher power in developing these virtues, I completed this step and continued to move forward in my quest for spiritual growth. And what is spiritual growth? It's very simply knowing what the truth is right now. So higher powers, by the way, it's not a secular higher power, or it can be. For me it is. God is truth, God is love, God works through people, and people have their faith and their belief, and that's none of my business. So when it talks about God in the book or higher power, it's the God of your understanding and not the God of my understanding. So mine's a very practical nuts and bolts things. We've all been given a toolkit. We may not know how to use it yet, but we sure do learn if we are sober. And in, as Bill sees it, a book for any day with as many pages which can keep us sane and sober. Page 175, Aspects of Tolerance. All kinds of people have now found their way into AA. Not too long ago I sat talking in my office with a member who bears the title Countess. That same night I went to an AA meeting. It was winter, and there was a mild-looking little gent taking the coats. I said, "Who's that?" And somebody answered, "Oh, he's been around for a long time. Everybody likes him. He used to be in one of Al Capone's mob. That's how universal AA is today." And I never had that sort of critical acclaim or outlook or anything. I'm just an ordinary person, right size today, hopefully, being the same size as anybody else. And every walk of life, every creed, race, colour, you name it, all come to AA for one primary purpose, and that's simply to stay sober one day at a time. So the gift for me in serenity, finding serenity in a day, is using the serenity prayer to understand what is possible and not possible. And it goes like this: God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to learn the difference is always just for today.